Yay! We are so excited for you guys to be here tonight. This is our second call for Rise Through the Ranks. So tonight we're going to be talking about senior silver to senior gold. And there's a whole lot of things happening there between senior silver and senior gold, I promise. So if you haven't watched the first part of the call, my chair, I'm like sliding everywhere. If you haven't watched VIP to senior silver, then go back and watch that, even if you are way past that, because there's oftentimes things that we forget or things that we need to be remembered or something that you pick up from another trainer that can often help us and be the encouragement that we need. So let's just jump right in. We're going to kind of go over again what senior silver means. Senior silver is 50 points in your back office. Okay. So every level 1 through level 7, right, gives you points. All right. Now, as VIP customers, this is where you would need to kind of, at senior silver is when I start to say, get a little familiar with the comp plan, kind of look at that compensation summary chart in your back office. We can help you find it if you need it. There is a guide in the team page about how we get paid. There are some videos, but start getting a little bit familiar with some of the terms that you're going to hear in Plexus. You're going to hear PV, and that just means product volume. That means that every single product that Plexus has is assigned a PV amount. It's almost dollar for dollar, not quite, but almost. And then that PV is what you're going to be hearing a lot about. So when you have a VIP customer that purchases purchases products, you're going to get PV, those PV amounts, and that all this is laid out in the compensation chart, but that those PV amounts give you points, right? The maximum is when everybody reaches 100 PV. That's kind of the magic number. That's where every person's points are like maxed out, right? So a level 1 is going to give you 6 points when they reach 100 PV. And then a level 2 and a level 3 are going to give you 5 points at 100 PV. And really, I think at senior silver, you're not going to get paid. Well, do you get paid to levels 5? If you have a level 5 at senior silver, like, wow, you were rocking and rolling. So most of us usually just have level 1s and level 2s at this point. But when all of those people combine, all those little points combined, give you that 50 points, your senior silver. Next, your next eyes are set on gold. And that's what we're talking about right now. Senior silver to gold. So senior silver is 50, gold is 100 points. Okay. So one of the things that a lot of people do, I didn't do this. A lot of people recruit 20 people roughly or less. Now it used to be, everybody used to be 5 points at the top. Level 1s used to be 5. So I'm still kind of stuck in 20. But would it be 18 level 1s for gold, maybe? I don't even know. Do the math, but 100 divided by 6. That's how many people you need. Some people can do that. Oh, is my internet bad? Hooey. Can y'all hear me? I'm sorry. Are y'all there?
Yeah.
Okay. Were you talking? Were y'all able
No,
to
I was I was just letting everybody know that
Okay,
you'd be
I'm
back in
sorry.
on.
No, I
Okay.
don't know. We have terrible internet. Okay. I connected to my hotspot. Okay. Where was I at?
Recording in progress.
Oh, okay. You're gonna need, okay, let's go back because, okay, I think I was at going gold. You need 100 points, and that is roughly 18 to 20 level 1s. I don't know, do the math. Now, do I suggest doing that? By all means. If you have 20 people and can sign up 20 people, holy smokes, let's do it. Plexus does not penalize you for adding as many level 1s as you can, okay? I suggest that. If you've been with other companies and they stack, don't worry about it if you don't know what that is, but if you do know what it is, you know what I'm talking about. Do not stack, okay? Don't stack in Plexus. It doesn't work out for the better and it's not good for anybody. So add as many level 1s as you can. Now, but what I want you to do, the magic here is what we talked about last week, and that is the power of 3. when someone comes in, I don't care if it's Aunt Sally, if it's your best friend Susan, or if it's your mom, like we want to be talking about accountability partners. We want to be talking about, hey, let's get your products paid for. Whether or not they want a business, I don't care. Like they need accountability partners. And who doesn't want their first 3 months of Triplex paid for? I mean, that's kind of a given, right? And statistically, you guys, 80% of people that hit silver with Plexus are on their products a year later, which is amazing because that means their health goals are being met, you guys. Okay. So their health goals, their journey is being met because they have hit silver. So statistics, I love numbers, and Plexus numbers don't lie. So if you can get people to silver, add 3 people, use the referral link 3 times, that is going to increase their longevity, the time that they're around. And that's what we want to be thinking about. Okay. So everybody's coming in and you're having that conversation with all of these level ones. Hey, let's talk about it. We talked about the essential conversation last time. So go back and watch that if you need to revisit. But even though you might can add those 20 people and get to gold, please be presenting the opportunity to everyone and try to help them go silver. Because number one, we're always trying to go silver every single month, right? 8 years in, my goal is still to try to add 3 people every single month. That's my goal. So we never stop shooting for that. And then we also try to get every VIP to add 3 people, right? And we also try to get people who actually want to maybe earn an income and go through the ranks. Like that is our goal. Add 3, get 3, right? And so that duplication over and over is how we grow our teams. That's how you're going to grow to gold, senior gold, ruby, senior ruby, emerald, sapphire, diamond. Okay. I'm serious, you guys. That power of 3, having that conversation and getting comfortable with it. Okay. So, you have 100 points and you are now a gold ambassador. And Plexus is going to send you to Gold School, which I have not had the opportunity to go to Gold School yet. It is fairly new. And Amanda, you were able to go to Gold School. Do you want to talk a little bit about Gold School, how awesome it was, and how belief building it is, and how amazing it's to be there?
Yeah, so I actually went to Gold School with a couple people from our team back in October, and it was Nashville, and it blew me away because y'all, it's a 1-day training, and there's a part of you that's kind of like, just being honest, you're like, okay, how far away is this training just for 1 day? It's several hours away. You really want it to be worth it because you're kind of thinking, is it worth me driving for 4 hours just to turn around and come back 4 hours? And y'all, I can tell y'all after that, it is totally worth it. I would, if I have a level 1, my next level 1 that goes gold in the future, if I have to fly to Gold School, I will try to make that happen. I mean, obviously, given our schedule, you'd have to make sure it works. But I'm saying it was that huge of a deal to get there with my level 1. And we talk about how important events are, and I think we were going to talk about this tonight as well, especially as you're getting to gold and to senior gold. Nothing can build your belief in Plexus like events. Like, we can tell you about it, but until you see this side of corporate, the amount of effort and planning and honestly money that they put into bringing in the best speakers for us and just going all out with decorations. Like, I remember mine and Ashley's first convention in Vegas, and we're just like walking around like with our mouths dropped open because like there's Plexus, banners on the floor, on the staircases. It's out in the streets, y'all. Like, they had acrobat people in the water. Like, it was crazy, and like, Jennifer had told us about that, but until we saw it, like, there is nothing that can build your belief like that. So if you are really wanting to go further in Plexus, that is like number 1 recommendation, is get to events. And also, you're able to show that side of Plexus on your social media, which is huge. I mean, because that is major third-party validation. When they see you at these huge company trainings, you're getting to hear John Maxwell, you're getting treated, I mean, red carpet treatment, y'all. I mean, really, like, if you ever go to corporate office for a big event like Jewel School in the future, they literally roll out the red carpet. So anyways, all that to just say that Gold School is amazing. You want to get there. it's just fantastic training. I'd probably say 6 or 7 hours. And y'all, like, there are jewels and diamonds in the company that do this training, but our CEOs and stuff like that are there too. So it's not like they just, send other people to do it. No, like Genevieve's there, and usually Alec, Tara, or Jean, somebody's there. And you actually get to talk with these people one-on-one. Like, you often have the opportunity to do that. So it's just incredible training. So worth it. Oh, and you get at convention, when you go gold for the first time, you get to go to the gold school party, which is super fun. So not only do you get the opportunity to go to gold school, you get to do the gold party at convention. So I think that's just really neat.
Yes, I love that. Okay, so Allison is going to give us a little bit of more tips on senior silver to gold. We've touched on the fact that you want to be going silver every month and that you want to present the opportunity to every person. So Allison, what are some more tips for that?
Okay. So, okay, we're doing gold to senior gold, right? Is that what we're doing? Oh,
Well, there were a
sorry.
couple other things that we talked about from
Oh, yeah,
senior
yeah,
silver to gold.
yeah.
A couple
Okay,
other things.
I gotcha. Yeah, gotcha.
But
Okay,
you can
so
totally take it away.
I'm good. So, okay, so when you're going from senior silver to gold, you want to be really intentional about where you're spending your time. So, first of all, I want to preface this by saying that the work that you do should be intentional, but you can do this in the floor with your babies. Okay. You don't have to be completely alone. And I had to learn that lesson. There are some things that I need a little brain space for, and we know what those are, but being intentional with your time and what you're going to do and when you're going to do it. And I'll give you some examples of that here in just a few minutes. But you've got your time that you're designating for your business. This is about how much I can invest in my business. Go ahead and commit to that. It may be spread out through the day. If you say I have an hour in my day, then that could be a half hour in the mornings after you do your quiet time before your kids get up and you have to get into the morning hustle. And it could be 30 minutes during nap time or 15 minutes 4 times or the whole chunk during nap time. Decide what you're going to do. That's the bottom line. Be very, very intentional about when you're going to try to do it. And that might change from day to day. That's okay. But when you are doing this and you're investing this time, you want to plan on spending about 70% of your time that you are designating to growing yourself and growing your business. You want to spend 70% of that growing your own business, literally. And that means that you are recruiting. You are talking about Plexus. You are reaching out to people about Plexus. You are following up with people about Plexus. You are making the sale. You're enrolling people for the business, your business. I know chats are really fun. They're a lot of fun and the community is a lot of fun, but that's not actual working on your business. I love getting into the chat. That's been a really important piece for me, is to feel connected and feel the community. And I know so many of you are here because, I was a stay-at-home mom. I stayed at home with little kids all day, and it was just a treasure to find friends with similar values and, be able to engage with them during the day on a common topic. But that's not working your business. So 70% of your business time should be spent on that messaging, that follow up, that, making a post that you don't spend too much time creating. Don't overthink it. Make your post and then talk to the people who are engaging with you. That is 70% of your time. So it's safe to say that the bulk of your time when you're going from senior silver to gold is going to be spent here doing this. The next part of your time, the next bulk piece of your time should be working on yourself. So you're going to spend about 20% here. It's really easy to spend an hour on a podcast and then 20 minutes reaching out to people and sending messages and following up. It's so easy for that to happen. But if we have an hour and 20 minutes during the day, it should be flip-flopped the other way. We should be spending even more of that time building our own business, and then 20% on growing yourself, listening to a podcast, reading a book, engaging in, Bob Heilig, like leadership, or Brittany Howard. She has like her leadership series, and you can get printables and work through those things. So 20% working on yourself, and then about 10% working on growing your team. When you're at this level of senior silver to gold, you're still kind of, it's okay if you're growing it by yourself. It's okay if you haven't had anybody go silver yet. It's okay if you haven't had anybody say they're going to go silver. You should still be asking. You should still be talking and reaching out about this. Yes, Jennifer put the Leadership Podcast by Brittany Howard. Go listen to it. That's a great place to do some personal growth and growing yourself. But 10% on your team, asking for people to share, helping people make their first posts, helping people do chats where they can learn more about the product. But you're still spending, remember, most of your time building your own business, because there's a good chance here in this portion of your business that you're still kind of pulling the cart yourself for the most part. And that's okay. That's normal. And don't feel like it's abnormal, and don't let that discourage you. Okay, so some things that you might be doing during that time. The first one are 3-way chats with your upline. So 2 ways that this would work is if you just enrolled a new person and maybe they haven't talked to your upline yet, then you would set up a 3-way chat and introduce the 2 people, let them know, hey, this is my friend Allison, who introduced me to Plexus. I'm going to connect you with her because she knows so much about this, because she's been doing it longer. And I feel like she will really encourage you. So I'm going to go ahead and set that up if it's okay with you. And you introduce me to her, and then let me take it away, or Jennifer or Amanda or whoever your sponsor is. That's what it would look like. You just connecting. You're giving that person someone besides you to look up to find value in. They can connect with you on social media and be encouraged by you. It's going to hold a little more weight when they see that person, maybe that jewel or the senior gold or the ruby that you're connecting them with. When they see them posting in the team page, it's going to hold weight. If they're like, oh, I know her, I get to talk to her, and they see the shout outs, graphics for those people's accomplishments, and they're like, oh my goodness, she's my friend. Like, you want to have that connection and that culture. And then 3-way calls with your upline. I mean, you could also be doing like vision casting, or like chats where someone is wanting to know more about it, but they haven't signed up yet. Just do those phone calls, do those chats where you're like, this is my friend Jennifer, and she has been working the business. She's a homeschool mama of 6 kiddos. And I really feel like she will help you see, like, let's talk to her. I feel like she's really accomplished a lot and done it in just such an efficient way. Like, cast that vision and then have those conversations. So 3-way calls. A focus that you want to have is going silver every month. And we use this phrase. You're not actually going to reach the rank of silver again. You're already past that. You're senior silver. You're headed for gold. But the focus is that every single month, and Plexus is doing this, they're kind of helping us with this by giving us the vision of the incentives, where you get 3 people and you get incentivized for that. But listen to me, for real. If you are wanting to pay your house off with Plexus, it's worth it if there is no spa visit. It's worth it if there's no spa visit. It's worth it if there's no iPad or Lululemon or anything. I am here for it. I love that stuff, but my ultimate goal is not just to get a massage. My ultimate goal is to be able to afford a massage whenever I want to get a massage. Okay. That's what your goal is, or whatever it is that you dream about doing. It may not be massages. So, focus on going silver every month. Get 3 new people engaged in this process, engaged with the products, engaged with the business, whichever it is, every single month. Then you want to be presenting the opportunity to every single person. If you've got a person and they're coming in and they love the triplex, you guys, I had a girl today. She messaged me. She's been taking the products for over a year. I talked to her about sharing. She wasn't interested, but she just messaged me the most mind-blowing before and after picture. And you bet your buttons that after I get off this call, because I didn't have a minute before, I'm going to respond to her and be like, girl, you should share that. There are people that need this so much, and you could benefit from it. Look at what you can get this month. So sharing the opportunity with every single person, having the essential conversation, the conversation that says, hey, the number one reason why most people stop using these products, like, I'm just going to lay it out there. I'm not even going to shade this over. It's money. People stop because of money. I talked to a girl today. She was slowing down on her products because of money. We're having that conversation again, that I don't want that to ever happen, because you need this. And I know how much it's helping you, and I know how much it's going to help you. So who do you think would jump on board with you? If you get 3 people, this is what you're going to get. So presenting the opportunity, get really good at recruiting. In Plexus, we have what we call 4 pillars. This is my next point. There are 4 pillars, but when you're here at Senior Silver to Gold, you want to get good at recruiting, bringing people on and getting them engaged and in the process of reaching their goals in Plexus. So watch videos. You can go to YouTube, how to share the Plexus opportunity. I remember watching video after video after video of, this is how I started talking to a person, all the way up to enrollment. I think Brittany Howard and I think it was Cody Helmer had one. It was like 5 years ago, 6 years ago. And I listened to it and I just memorized everything they said so that I would know the process of helping a person get started and get success with their products or with the business. And then here's another skill that's really important, and this has changed over the years, is learning how to add value on social media. Okay, there was a time, friends, when we could put up rough looking graphics with little thought bubbles and hot pink and like all the bold, the lettering. We could do that and make, like, people would see it. Advertising worked like that back in the day. Just like you used to have people knock on your door selling vacuum cleaners. They don't do that anymore. So it's okay for us to shift with the times, get good at adding value on social media. And I'm going to add this part in a way that other people see value. So I want you to think, like, stop and think before you make a post. If I saw this post from somebody in another company, would it get my attention, or would I just scroll past it? Right? So how are you coming across to people? Is your content valuable? Are you making people, I made a post tonight and it was just strictly to make people laugh. Sorry, there's like a little fuzz thing floating in front of my light. So it was strictly to make people laugh. I'm not trying to sell anything. I'm not telling people about Plexus tonight. I'm just making people laugh at my goofy pregnancy picture with cows. It was really funny to me today. And so I shared that moment, and laughing is valuable to people. Entertainment is valuable to people. So you know what? When I make my post about Plexus this week, a couple of times, people are going to stop and read it because they've been engaged and connecting, and they feel like they know me. They feel like they've laughed with me or laughed at me, and I'm okay with it. So add value on social media. Show your face. If you're comfortable showing your children, show your children, show your family, show your life. People are so interested in the weirdest things. Like okay, Haley Oberhage here. I'm just going to call her out. She lives in Mexico, y'all. I love looking at her grocery hauls. Like, it's like the highlight of my week when she shows what she gets at the market and then says how much it costs. I'm like, what in the world? Here we all go. I'm going to Mexico to buy my fruit. It's like mangoes this big and I paid 10 cents for them. It's amazing. So that's her everyday life. That's how she lives. But I think it's really cool. So what in your life is really cool and amazing, all the way down to how Plexus is affecting your health? You may not feel like it's a big deal, but somebody else might think it's a big deal. So think about those things. That is the value of that's adding value in social media. And then learn to be vulnerable. Laugh at yourself, share your heart. Sometimes you might need to be like a little bit outside of an uncomfortable situation before you share it, and that's okay. But be willing to be vulnerable with people. That is so connecting. The people who I have shared my heart with the most, I don't like lay it all out there on social media. It's okay. Like, I don't whine and tell about all my woes, but I don't mind letting people know that I've struggled with something and what I learned in it. Be vulnerable. And that's going to help you learn to be vulnerable too with the leaders on your team. where you can talk to them about, here's where I'm struggling. What can we do to help me do this? Like, learn just to kind of bare your soul and be okay with that. The verse just popped in my head that the fear of man is a snare. Being afraid of people is a trap. And sometimes we don't share our hearts because we're afraid of what people will think. And don't fall into that trap. It's very easy to do because here, when you're in senior silver to gold, I don't know where this came from, but it's coming and I'm going to give it to you. Senior silver to gold. This is when your family starts seeing that you're posting about this all the time, and somebody might come make fun of you. And somebody might talk about you working for a pyramid scheme. And your sister, okay, guys, my own sister, who was my best friend, she quit. She was a gold and I was a gold. And she quit and canceled her account and didn't even tell me she was doing it. And that hurt so deeply. And I could have sat down and said, whatever. Like, even my own BFF thought she didn't even tell me she did it. And I'm totally healed. Like, I'm not bitter about it at all. But that could have benched me, but I didn't let it do it. I just let it. I just learned from it and learned through it and moved on. So guard your heart. And don't let yourself be taken down by that fear of man, even if it's your mother-in-law, even if it's your mom, even if it's your sister. Just love people where they're at. They don't have to come with you. Maybe they will one day, but they don't have to. And that's okay. Be okay with that. And just a little, I want you to know this. This is not on the same topic, but I want to close this segment out by letting you know about your virtual office. This is not a big secret, but maybe you don't know it yet. Everything in your virtual office is clickable. Everything. All the columns are clickable. I want you to go into your virtual office when we get off here tonight, if you've never done this before. And I want you to click on everything, every column, every little plus sign that you see, every little underlined thing that pops up. Just hover over stuff and explore it. Go to your dashboard, sign in, go to your dashboard, and just click through that stuff, and your points and rank up and all of those things. That is just, I kind of want to toss that challenge out to you because the columns move around. You can sort people by your level. You can find out who the last person is that ordered literally on your team by clicking the order column twice, and it'll line it up by date. This is going to be your best friend as you move from here to gold and then on to senior gold. Okay. I think I'm wrapping that up.
That was so good, Allison. I even took some notes. I kind of wanted to piggyback a little bit. I had some thoughts while you were talking about connecting with three-way calls, three-way chats. Go into your level 1 sip and sees, your level 2s and even 3s as your business begins to grow. I've been in this now, I guess later this year will be 8 years. And one thing I can say that has made a huge difference, and I think this is really important when you're talking about getting to gold and to senior gold, is connecting with your downline. Like, you're not just trying to build relationships now with your level 1s. You want to build relationships with level 2s and 3s. And y'all, not only will some of these people end up being like dear friends to you, like completely unexpected. I mean, literally, I have friends that I would not have met outside of Plexus that are level 2s and 3s that were like really close. It's just amazing what the Lord has done through this. It blows me away. But there will be times, let's say, for example, that somebody needs to step away from the business. Maybe they have a health crisis. Maybe they have a baby and, they're going to have to take care of their baby and family and step away for a little while. You want to have connected them to your upline so that they have another layer of support. So the more people that you introduce them to in our Plexus community, sidelines, uplines, the better that they're going to be supported when you're going through maybe a time where you can't be as present. And definitely you can believe that's happened with all of us over the last several years. There's been times, and even now, like if something happened, a lot of my people are connected to Jennifer, and I can be like, hey, can you check in on my people for the next couple of weeks or whatever, And so anyways, it's just, not only will you build friendships, and I want to mention this too, it's inevitable, like Allison was talking about, that you'll have somebody quit. Y'all, just because that level 1 quits doesn't mean that maybe that level 1 that's went gold doesn't mean you don't have a diamond level 2 or level 3. So I cannot overemphasize the importance of trying to make those small connections with the people through those three-way chats, through the three-way calls, or getting to a sip and see where you can meet your downline. So that was just something that really stood out to me when I think about my journey, that I think's made a big difference. And then, like Allison was saying, at some point you are going to have that setback, and that's where that personal growth comes in. That's just so important. Like, it's inevitable. It may be a different scenario, but there's something that's going to happen, and you're going to have to make that choice. I'm going to grow through this, or I'm going to stop. And so I would just really encourage you to try to start making that, especially gold to senior gold, part of your daily work. And if it's 10 pages of reading a book a day, or maybe it's 5 pages a day, but all of that. And the great thing about that is all of that personal growth stuff affects every area of your life. It's not just Plexus, it bleeds into everything. And I think if all of us on here that have talked tonight, that are us basically jewels now, we would look back and say that growth that has bled into all areas of our life is like one of the biggest blessings of this whole journey. So anyways, I'll stop there, but I'm going to turn it over to Jennifer.
That's so good. Everything that everyone has said has just been amazing. So, okay, here you are, you're a gold ambassador, you have 100 points, you have gone to gold school, and you are pumped up, and you were excited, and you were like, okay, let's go. So one of the things that I would encourage you to do, well, first of all, let's talk about where you're going. All right, so you're gold. The next stop is senior gold. Now, gold is 100 points. Senior gold is 250 points, okay? And that is again, in your collective organization. So what is happening at this point? So you are wanting to really, Allison mentioned the 4 pillars. So you're already recruiting people, right? You're still sharing. And you guys, if there is one word that I could sum this business up in, is consistency. Literally, I'm not even kidding. If you can be consistent, and there are seasons, this was a great eye-opener that I took away from my leadership of excellence a few weeks ago, is there are seasons of life where consistency can look like 5 days a week. And there are seasons of life where consistency is 2 days a week, but it is consistent, right? We often want to say, I'm not consistent unless I do it every day but that's not necessarily true, right? I consistently go to church on Sundays, right? Or I consistently go to church on Sundays and Wednesdays, right? So you can say, I consistently do that. But so don't be alarmed if there are seasons in your life. I try to work my business. My goal is 5 days a week. I am trying to be consistent with that, right? Sitting down, having a time. But there have been seasons where, okay, I'm looking at my calendar and I'm looking at life and I'm like, okay, I'm only working 2 days a week, but I'm going to be consistent at it, right? So consistency is key. So you are being consistent. You are recruiting the people. You are still going silver. You are helping duplicate that. Duplication is simply helping the people below you do what you're doing, right? Helping them reach their goals, helping them to go silver, right? Plugging them into the systems. And you guys, this is simple. I mean, it really is simple. This business, we've said it 100 times, but you're going to hear it 100 more. This business is 80% mindset and 20% skill set. Some would even argue 90-10, right? But there's 4 pillars. So you've got recruitment, then you've got retention, and that means that the people that come in are sticking to the products. They are staying on the products, which if you're not on the products, you can't have a health result. So retention is very important, right? And if you are in a business, the opportunity side, retention is important. But ultimately, at the end of the day, we're here for the people. We're here for the people's results, whether or not they want to share, right? So retention is important. And that is what you want to focus. So you got recruitment, you've got retention, and then you've got duplication. We're helping people get all the things. And then you've got leadership development. And that is where you are helping other people on your team rise in leadership. And so at this point, between gold and senior gold, you really need to start thinking about these things. being intentional with those things, and also with leadership development, thinking about your own personal growth and maybe branching out of personal growth into leadership. You guys, I've probably got 25 John Maxwell books over here. John Maxwell is the guy about leadership. He is a leadership guru. There's so many of them, but he's one of the tops. But you are you're learning and increasing your own leadership knowledge and your own leadership abilities and your own leadership lit. So those are the 4 pillars, and everything. That was another thing that I took away, because Christina said the 4 pillars are all standing on the foundation of mindset, you guys. And mindset is huge at this point. It's huge in the beginning. Mindset will always be a huge thing, because you're going to come up against yourself and your fears the whole entire journey. And so you're going to find out your fears at senior silver, gold. Senior gold's going to have some new ones. And so you're just going to keep peeling back those layers and working through it. So I just want to encourage you to talk things out with people, talk things out with these fears, talk your objections that you have, your fears. Some people have a fear of success, right? Some people have a fear of failure. There's so many different aspects that people can have, but work through it. All right. So you are thinking about the 4 pillars, right? You're focusing on them. And then you are also, I lost my notes and my train of thought here because I had it. Okay. So where are you going to spend your time here? So you're going to spend, from gold to senior gold, about 60% of your time is going to be spent on your business still. Okay. You're doing all the things that Allison talked about previously. 25% of your time is going to be spent on yourself, working on your own personal development, your leadership, pouring into that. And then about 15% of your time is going to be spent on your team. The tendency is for people to start micromanaging. You guys, that is going to be a tendency you'll have to fight. And because you want to micromanage everybody, and then you're spending 60% of your time focusing on your team and not your own personal business. So keep spending the bulk of your time focusing on your own personal business, developing new silvers, developing new golds. Okay, so what you want to be doing is you want to be hosting events at this point. Transition from maybe attending events and doing them with your sponsor to actually doing them on your own and doing them with your team on your own, leading them for your team. And you guys, I can remember one of the very first events I did. It was on Facebook in a closed group where we literally we had a preset like words that we were going to say, the post that we just copied and pasted, and then we had a graphic that we put up, and like people were attending in our private group. What you would have thought I was on stage in front of 10,000 people. I was so nervous, but I was at home behind my computer where nobody could see me. But I was like shaking. It was my turn to copy and paste and put the picture in. Oh my gosh. So, and I've been there, done that. It can be scary. It can be scary to get on Zoom and actually talk in front of people. But I'm telling you, it is only a skill that you have to learn. And you're going to kind of fall down and skin your knees. You may fall on your face. That is okay. What matters is if you get back up and do it again, right? Because next time you're going to have something that you've learned and you're going to do it better. And then you're going to keep doing it better and better and better. So you're just going to keep moving forward. So you're going to have newbie events. Your new person comes on. Hey, let's do an event just for you invite your people to. Let's do it in person where people can come out and try the pink drink, or let's do it on Zoom where your friends and family can jump on Zoom. I can share my story. You can share your story. We're going to do that. Or you can do also team challenges. Those are fun. I know a girl, one of my level ones is doing her own easy inflammation challenge. She's doing it with the free bottle of Ease that we're getting this month, and then the Slim. And so she's put together a little challenge, and she's got some great results. People are actually coming off. They've been on the fence, right? About, I'm not sure, going to plexus. And then she's put this challenge out there, and they're like, oh, that looks like something I want to be a part of. So be creative, allow yourself that freedom. That's one of the things. So many people have gifts and talents and strengths in different areas. And this opportunity allows you to share your own strengths. So be creative and do those events. And then one of the things I want to say is at this point in gold to senior gold, really start thinking about, why am I doing this? What is my why? We call it knowing your why. what is my why? And I think you should really start thinking about that really the time you start getting serious about wanting to build a business. And that could be way before gold, to senior gold for most of you, but really hone in on that. So you say, okay, well, I want $1,000 a month. Well, why? Okay, well, that would really help, us pay our grocery bills. Okay, well, let's take it deeper than that, right? Let's keep peeling the layers back. And really, until it gets down to a super emotional, for a lot of people can get really emotional. And you can really start to see there are some things in your heart that maybe you've not allowed yourself to dream about, and, or whatever, because you didn't feel like it was possible. And so it feels vulnerable, but dig into why. Dig into dreaming. If my calendar was empty and my bank account was full, what would I be doing? What would my life look like? What would my kids, what my husband, my parents, whatever. So dig into your why, and then also dig into the why of your team. Why are the people that are starting to build under you? Why are they here? What are they wanting from this opportunity? Have you cast the vision for them? And then also we talked about recognizing their pillars, starting work on them. And then Allison, do you want to speak to customer care, because you are so great at this element? So do you want to speak to that? Because that's really important at this point, I really feel like.
Yes. So what Jennifer said, I kind of want to preface this by saying that the customer care that you provide to someone will be the customer care that they provide to their team. And when we talk about the word duplication, we're literally meaning making a copy of yourself. So ask yourself, what do you think would help your team grow? What kind of things would a growing team do? What do you hope that your team members will do a good job of? And do those things, because duplication is making a copy of yourself. That's the very simple way to say it. And what you do will duplicate down. I have had seasons of this where I saw that and I was not happy with what I saw. So I put something else on the copy machine and I started doing it a different way. And one of those was customer care. So for customer care, this doesn't have to be over the top. This can be very, very simple. I actually have a graphic. I wish that I'm going to see if I can find it so that it can be shared if people would like to see it, but where you follow up at least 4 times in the first 30 days. You're talking to people about their journey at least 4 times in the first 30 days. So like the first week, you're going to reach out to them when you know they've gotten the products, kind of keep an eye on their tracking information, because that information is accessible to you in your virtual office. In fact, if you do it on your phone, you can click on the tracking number and it takes you straight to the UPS website. I just figured that out this week. I was copying and pasting from my laptop and sending a screenshot. Oh my goodness, it's in your mailbox. Did you get it? And then sending them instructions for how to take their products. And adding them to your team, to your wellness community that you have for customers, making sure they are plugged in, like thinking about, if I want the power to flow from this community into this customer, into this person, so they get results and feel connected, where am I going to plug them in the wall? Like, what am I going to give them? What kind of power am I going to put behind this experience for them? So you're just making a basic connection. Have you gotten your products? I think they might be in your mailbox. Send dosage recommendations. Maybe if you can find some information like the info sheet or something, talking, if they haven't seen it, talking a little more in depth about the products they're taking, build their belief. If you have a product opportunity call that week, inviting them to come take a look and build their belief if they've never been to one of those before. Anything that's going to be available that week, go ahead and let them know about it. Then in the second week, you might send them a message, well, how's it going? Are you getting into a good rhythm? I'm not going to ask a person how they're feeling in the second week. I'm not going to ask them if they're sleeping better, if they have more energy. Like, I'm just, are you getting in a good rhythm? Do you feel like you're taking your products consistently? How's your digestion? Like, really basic questions that they're probably experiencing some changes on. And then in the third week, you're just doing a check-in. Have you seen an increase in your sugar cravings? I know I did. It happened to me. I got a headache and I had increased sugar cravings, and I just kind of go ahead and let them know that hey, it's not all roses and this is how it turned out for me. And I've been using these for 8 years. Okay. So you're just checking in. We're not smoothing things over or hiding what detox is. We're like, boom, here's the video. This is what you might be feeling. If you're not, that's good. So you're checking in. And then probably on the week 4, hey, I'm really excited. You're almost there. First 30 days. All right, we're moving on to the second 30 days now. Your subscription is going to come out. I actually have a little notebook and I write I do my morning rounds in this. I'm not sharing that, but this is oh, sorry, can't see it, but it's a date and this person's subscription is going to go out in 3 days from that date. And her name's right there. And I write it down as soon as she signed up. I was like, okay, her sub's going to go out in 2 or 3 days and I need to message her and let her know, hey, you know, that free active you got, it's not in your subscription. If you want that active next month, you're going to have to add it. You know, that free ease you got, make sure it's in you loved it and you loved how you're feeling. You've got to make sure it's in your subscription. Do you have everything you need? Oh, your husband wants to do Slim too. All right, let's add that in there too. But I am not hiding the fact that there's a subscription. I'm telling them, reaching out to them, letting them know it's on the way and making sure they have everything. So the point of this is, you want to provide good customer care and you also want to help your team with that. If you've got a new person that is starting to share, then you would send them, if there's a post or a graphic or something that has this on it. Hey, you signed up 2 people. So this is what I use. When you get to this point of gold, you're really in a leader position. You're really like, you're like there, it's real deal. You're here, you're in a leader position and you're taking people's hands and you're saying, this is the tool I used and this is what I do here. You do it too. Like, let's do it together. And that's kind of how that duplication happens. So good customer care duplicates down.
Okay. That was so good. Okay, just looking at our last notes here. Okay. Amanda, do you have anything to add to all this? Really, you guys just staying consistent and doing the things, keeping in touch with your team, keeping in touch with your upline, working through your thoughts, your fears, digging into why are you doing this in the first place? Like, those things are really important.
I did think we were going to talk just a little bit about follow-up, and I forgot that when I spoke earlier. So this is just some quick statistics. Only 2% of sales are made with the very first contact. So it is totally normal for you to follow up with someone between a minimum of 5 and 12 times. And I don't know about y'all, but I feel like 5 is really on the low end. I mean, for me, I feel like it's more like 8 to 10. So what's really important though, when you're following up with people, is that you vary how you follow up with them in a variety of different ways. So like it may be inviting them to an event. It may be you came across a testimony about IBS and you know that they mentioned they were struggling with that. You tag them on that or copy and paste and send it to them. You know, it may be at some point putting a sample in the mail. So just make sure you're changing up how you follow up with people, but also make sure that you're not only following up with them about Plexus. Because when I think back to people, you know, because like they'll get started on these products. Jennifer talked about the importance of retention. And then sometimes it seems like people will just ghost you. Well, when I think about why have they ghosted me, sometimes I have to like self-examine and be like, well, you know what? Almost all of my follow-ups with them have been only about Plexus. So try, and I know for some people, you might not have a relationship with them. So that's something though, to be thinking about trying to build with your follow-ups, that relationship, so that you're not always only talking with them about Plexus. And like what Allison was saying, like with your social media, trying to do a variety of different things so that you connect with them in different ways. So they're connecting with you outside of just Plexus. But that's important, you know, with following up, you know, when they first decide to purchase, but also following up with people afterwards. Because I feel like sometimes in the past, like if I've gotten ghosted, it's from people that you're like, they're so excited, but then they just kind of stop responding after they got their products. And when I think about, you know, that happened in the past, I have to ask myself, have I done a good job of talking with them about other things outside of Plexus and building that personal connection. So I think that's really important. But yeah, it's totally normal for you to have to follow up multiple times and not take it personally either. I know some of y'all have been doing this for a while, but some of y'all are newer. And I always love the coffee analogy, because sometimes, you want to take it personal that they're not interested right now. And, it's like the waitress that offers coffee. You tell her, no, you don't want any. It doesn't have anything to do with her. It's just that you don't want coffee right now. But there may be a time later in your life where you end up falling in love with coffee, So just like Jennifer was saying, I also feel like with the follow-ups, consistency is so important as well, because these people, like, you're layering exposures when you share on social media, and that consistency, when the timing is right for that person, they're going to come back with you because of the follow-ups and the consistency that you've shown in the past. So that's all I've got for that.
No, that's so good. That's so good. And one thing I wanted to share super quick, and we'll be done, about social media. When Allison was talking, she talked about being vulnerable, and that is so good. And I had literally an example today of a level 1 who has been sharing for some time, but she's never really put her story out there, her struggles, and she did an amazing post today, and she listed her struggles before Plexus, some of which I wasn't even aware of, and talked about how that Plexus has helped her so much. And immediately, within just a couple hours, she had people reaching out to her, wanting to get started, because she really was vulnerable with where she was. And here's the thing that we were talking about is people want to be able to, like, they want to see your struggle, kind of, sort of, and then know that there is a hope for them, right? And so even though maybe I didn't personally deal with migraines, but when I share maybe that I didn't feel so good, or I didn't have energy, or when I share how I felt, when I shared how, I didn't think that, I would ever get over the eczema that I had or whatever, like, when you share your pain points, people can emotionally relate to that, and that is super duper powerful. And so when people can emotionally relate to your post, then they are going to be paying attention more to what you're saying with those Plexus posts. So be really mindful of that. Another couple of tips for social media. So you don't want to post all Plexus. I would say every third post, let it be a Plexus post. Pinterest has great content ideas. Just get on there and put social media content, and you're going to get more than you ever thought about ideas from Pinterest if you struggle. Also, we live in 2023, and you guys, the days of like super long posts are really, really kind of over. I mean, so if try to condense what you're saying. I mean, I'm not talking about keep it like to, 5 or 6 sentences, but I mean, don't write like a whole book, because and expect to get a lot of response from that, because the attention spans are just getting shorter and shorter, unfortunately. And even though I am like, that makes me cringe inside, it just is what it is. And we have to kind of adapt, right? We kind of have to adapt a lot of our stuff to social media. So be okay with that. Be okay with trying to make some of your posts more condensed, but just be okay with being vulnerable. Be okay. And just like I told the girl today, I said, oh my goodness, you have listed out probably like 8 or 9 struggles that she had pre-Plexus. That is an endless amount of posts for her, because she could take one element, right? So maybe some stomach troubles. You can talk about how you felt. Maybe you felt fear. Maybe you were over it. Maybe you were sick of it, whatever. Maybe that, you were on expensive medicine and that stressed you out, right? So that just right there, that was like 3 or 4 ideas just from having stomach pains, right? And so you can literally take your testimony apart piece by piece, and your business journey apart. Let me just tell you, because you got to buy a coffee, and maybe you couldn't buy a coffee before because you didn't want to spend the $5 extra at Starbucks, or maybe you went and got your kids soccer shoes and you weren't able to do that without stressing out before. Don't underestimate those things, you guys. So the pain points that you're feeling, be sure to share that with people, because that really resonates. So just a social media thought for you. Any final thoughts, words from you guys out there? So Senior Gold. Okay. Senior silver 50, gold 100, senior gold 250. You guys, you can do it. If you can go silver, you can go diamond for sure. Allison, you have something?
Yeah, and I want to remind you too to like once you go gold, and I shared this with my team last night. Once you go gold, you know how to go gold. And maybe you should set your sights on going silver every month and gold every however often.
Ooh.
Think about that. Like, do it again and do it again. Don't just focus on silver. How can you go from silver to gold? How can you take the 3 you got this month all the way to another 100 points? Set your sights on gold, and that's how you're going to really grow fast, because we usually don't make this leap from gold to senior gold alone. You're really shifting gears. And set your short-term goal, but when can I see 100 points added to the points I have now, again, on top of the 3 that you're thinking about getting? That's a really more long-term vision. And if you do the math and you get 100 points, let's say you do it every other month, that's only 28 months from gold to emerald. That's pretty
Wow.
quick.
That is
Pretty
very
quick.
quick. Mhm.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's the power. That's the power of 3 and the power of gold. And honestly, you guys, like I look at, we'll get into this when we get into the jewel ranks, but when you look at, let's say, 1,500 points for emerald, right? And you look at that 3,000 points to sapphire, that's 1,500 points difference. What your focus is, and this is what a lot of people will tell you is, okay, I need 10 new golds. I need 15 new golds, right? Like, where are these people? That's what I need. Like, we think in terms like that. That's really what I've transitioned my brain, is to think in terms of new gold leaders. So gold is an amazing place to be. And yeah, I love that. Once you are, you know how. So that's awesome. Okay. Thanks, you guys. And we will have this recording up for you tomorrow. And we'll tune in next week. We'll be talking about senior gold to senior ruby. Okay. All right. Bye, guys.